Welcome back to another episode of Boys Love Iland to Na, the only show.
Final.
Countdown.
Countdown.
Yeah, we get into part 2, but really not really. We really just close part 1.
We close part 1. And it's important to get closure.
Part 1.
It's important to get
Should we do this whole thing in Boston accents and see what people think?
Hello, welcome to Iland.
Welcome to another episode of Iland to NA. It's so hard because it's vaguely like New York. There are similarities between like a New York and a Boston. Mm-hmm. Is this fun?
New York.
Are you enjoying? Is this something we could do more often? Okay.
I think we should do it in a transatlantic accent.
Okay. Welcome back, darling, to another episode of Boys Love Iland to NA. Well, should we talk about episode 8 or are we going to dick around all day? What are we doing?
So, episode 8 is essentially here's who survived part 1.
Here's the survivors.
So, you asked about like how should we do this episode? I think we can just go name by name, start with the 6 that we knew were going to be in part 1. Mm-hmm. And then the additional 6. And then just a quick word about who we've lost along the way. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have who's definitely in part 2. Had no risk. They were making it. We have Mai.
And her whole package was like...
Oh, we're talking about the end package too?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's more like it's profiles, divas in profile. Mm-hmm. She led a dance group of almost like 100
people. That's crazy.
And then she was like, and then I watched Iland and saw that all these Koreans like having a great time, having a blast.
Mai is Korean, isn't she?
She's Japanese.
She's Japanese? Guys, this is literally brand new information for me. I'm not kidding. She's Japanese?
She's Japanese, diva.
Koreans are very monolithic.
Yeah.
Like they are, there is like a difference. Mm-hmm. Like obviously like the Chinese have like a huge sprawling continent practically. So there's many different like minority groups within like China. There's like a similar thing in Japan. Like people look different. Korea's pretty monolithic.
Yeah.
This whole time I was like, she's the most interesting
what is
Korean
it about
person
it?
I've ever
Why is
seen.
she so interesting?
I can't believe
she's not Korean.
Because she's not Korean.
That's why. And I think she learned. Her Korean is very good. Obviously,
yes. I was
unclockable.
I can't say unclockable
you can't say
because I don't know.
But
I this whole time up until this very moment, I thought she was Korean.
Ilbon.
Wow. I wondered because it's Mai, and so like that's not really
a
Korean name.
Right,
but
right.
I was like, oh, maybe that's not her actual name, and that's just like a name. Like Coco is not. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is Coco.
Yeah. Coco, Nana, Yuiko. But her revealing that she like led this dance troupe, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Why she has such a. She's very confident. They showed like all of the awards that they've won. Like very competent, very confident, and like definitely earned.
Yeah.
So she's definitely one that I know people have said like, I'm always surprised that you guys always say that she's a surprise to you.
Oh, they say that? Mm-hmm. Oh.
Well, we're in a time capsule, so they're only reacting to one episode,
2 episodes,
basically.
Yeah.
But I think it is because, and they've said it, she's like the impressions, like the impact master or something like that. Impact princess or whatever, where she just like kind of gut punches you of like, oh, I'm here too.
She's
good about making it her moment.
Yes, she's so good at that.
Uh-huh.
Like that's the whole story of that second episode where she was like, I'm gonna take part 12 and I'm gonna make it. And she did.
And truly the Rain on Me episode, I think, is what got her really solidified. I think like even if everyone was up for elimination, I think she would have easily survived.
Yeah. Let's go with Jung-ah next. What do we have to say about Little Miss Jung-ah?
I think and I speak for the Philippines.
We're gonna have to stand.
And I think we're gonna have to claim Jung-ah as ours now.
Okay, great.
Like Kyrell.
Who are the other? Are there any girls?
Wendy Houston.
Oh, sure.
Wendy Houston. I think we're gonna take Jung-ah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Korea. But she's Filipina.
Yeah.
I'm a Filipina.
What is that? Oh, is that her
Marina's song.
Marina Summer song?
I would love to see Marina Summers and Jung-ah.
If we're gonna go this slow, it's gonna be the longest episode ever. This is what I'm realizing in this moment. I think the narrative that Jung-ah has of being the ace, but being like it's really lonely at the top and like really you're filled with anxiety
and so much pressure. Because they show a little clip of her crying
today. By the way,
Heads.
I realized that whenever they say like I'm burdened,
It's
pressure.
It's pressure.
It's pressure.
Pressure drip drip.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know the rest of the
Come
song.
on, girl.
Come on, Luisa. Yes,
really-
because they show in the Talking Heads that she's been like crying. Like she's had to like break down, been feeling the pressure of like having to be perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, from like being the leader and the ace and and first place, and then like going to like panorama, and then like not nailing the main vocal completely.
Yeah. Should we talk about her arch nemesis, June,
I think this
next?
is the perfect time to talk about her arch nemesis because I have a feeling it's gonna go on, obviously. So our biggest thing during the reaction was like, did she watch and like, was there reflection?
Or
What
even
happened?
just like,
Or just
I mean, just like,
acknowledgement.
was she like, oh shit?
Yeah.
And it seemed like in her
seemed
package,
like there was.
she was like, oh shit.
Because in her package, it was very much like, what is it? Arrogance and
Arrogance
confidence.
versus confidence. There is a difference.
There is a difference.
But I didn't know June is a country girl.
Right?
She's
that
a girl from,
definitely like,
she's from the province, I'm assuming?
yeah. And she like raised animals, honey. The farmer in the dell.
Chickens, cow. Yes.
Yes. You name it.
Hi ho, the dairy-o.
That I was like, oh, it's piecing the puzzle a little bit. And then she was
Yes.
like, and then I watched Blackpink, and then I met Rose, and I saw Rose, and I was like, that she's I want to be
Rose.
I want to be Rose. And you can totally
This
see
all
it
checks out.
from how she looks. Like you can tell that she's even like looks and like acts like her sometimes, and obviously in like songwriting and singing.
Yep.
The diva, like, she showed her journal. She was like doing it to like Rolling in the Deep. Like she's just like taking songs and interpreting them. And,
Yes.
and that's like, oh, okay.
That's artistry.
Yeah.
Mama.
And like for that, I really respect it, I understand the process now of like, if there is like that one thing that you're passionate about, but then you want to prove that you want to be an idol and do everything, like that's a challenge in itself.
I mean, she explains like the first half of the show by being basically like, I'm such a perfectionist. Like if it's not going well, then I like shut down, which is like literally
everyone.
half the girl on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes.
That's like at least
That's your
one
whole
girl
thing.
every season. That
you
is
come
the
into
narrative.
Drag Race being like, I'm the best version of
I'm
myself.
the best. I'm the best in Kansas City. I'm the best drag queen in Kansas City. And then you get on
Go to the show and you're like, oh fuck, Sasha Colby is here. Yeah.
So there's like a similar, I don't think it's exactly 1-to-1, right? Because I do think she's like one of the strongest, if not probably the strongest vocalist on the show.
Totally, yeah.
Or at least
it sets her apart.
Yes.
And I was afraid that people wouldn't actually like value it because like there's some, you know, like Boys Planet where they're like, okay, there are clear other main vocalists, like, but there's only one that can really like be the main vocalist,
right?
And I think she got really lucky that she's really the only one that's like, I am a singer first.
Yes, it is vocal line. She's like, if she's 17, mama, that's.
I am me and Woozy.
Yes,
honey,
because she's a writer.
She's a writer.
Yes, go down the Woozy track. Let's do Sebi,
your diva,
my
baby
daughter.
Yes, you've adopted her.
My goddaughter.
Sabes.
Sebi is
baby.
Sebi is baby. Sebi is
She's in like she's in high school. She was in her full like Eugene.
I think she's my PO1.
Oh wow.
I really think that.
Is it
It's truly either her or Coco.
Oh yeah. Is it for Sabi? Is it truly that she is like a smiling?
Yeah, it is the Matthew effect.
It's the Matthew.
Yes.
She is so happy to be up there.
Like, the thing that like makes me cry about Matthew is like the way his body
tea. And you can say it on camera. You've said it before.
The thing that makes me cry about Matthew is like his smile is like the powerhouse of the cell. It is the mitochondria.
His mitochondriac like smile.
Yes, mitochondriac. And Sabi in the same way, like it like
shines through.
It's so warm. It's so genuine. It reaches her eyes. Like it's her whole face lights up.
Yeah.
Like she is like. There is like the aspect of K-pop why I think some people turn to it is that it's like so. You can like fully forget about the rest of the world while you go into this space because like there is an energy of just like brightness that like doesn't really obviously depending on like what concept
you're listening to, but she's welcoming you in. She's like for the next like 3 minutes of the song, I've got it. You're fine.
Yeah. Yes, you're fine. Yes, that is like a very underappreciated thing about like music in general, but like specifically this kind of like,
and even just like
really performative performance
in the defense of the bright concept. Like that's why people like that.
Let's defend the bright concept.
And we will, honey.
I think it makes sense, right? Like the girl crush concept comes out of like as like a backlash to super bright stuff, but I think it's both. Both are equally valid and important.
Women can contain multitudes.
So I've heard. I don't know. Let's go to sarang. I sarang, you sarang.
I sarang, you sarang. Pastor's daughter.
Wow,
and that literally,
it all clicked.
When she said, "I am one of 4 daughters, and my dad's a pastor."
7.
Is that the song? I don't think there's song.
Yes, it is.
It is?
You think someone who lived in Indiana through the early 2000s didn't watch Seventh Heaven?
See, my sister did not. She was a Dawson's Creek.
Have you ever seen the clip of where the pastor's wife is like, I smoked pot once in college, and he like has a conniption fit? Have you ever seen this clip? It is so funny. Go watch it. The show is not good. Sarang is my niece.
I think the pastor's daughter narrative makes sense because we've described her as like she's the girl next door. We've known her all our lives, and that's the vibe. It's like I see her every Sunday. She's always she's singing it. She sings at the choir.
She is like a genuinely a person you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's her draw. That's why you want to root for her.
Yes.
I feel like I said that about someone in Boys Planet.
I don't know if there's anyone in Highland that I would say, especially in the 7 that debut. I don't think there's any of them that feel like Boy Next Door energy.
Jake is probably the closest one.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Jake feels the most like a guy you know.
Yeah.
But the guy happens to be hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then our final girl who's continuing on, our elder, okay, the statesman of the group, Fuko from Japan.
Fuko from Japan.
Fuko's Japanese. Did you know that?
I knew that.
Okay, great.
Isn't that amazing? I'm very excited to see Fuko in part 2, especially in individual, because I think she has done a great job leading and taking care of people.
Yeah. There is no one on this show that wants this as bad as Fuko.
I know. And
they all want it really bad, but she is like, I mean, it is desperation.
Every result, she looks like it's like make it or break it. Like even when she won the the writing lyrics. So
I love how much she wants it.
Yes.
It's I like the earnestness of it. It's great. And I think she's so talented. So here's what happens in the episode. The first thing that happens is the 4 lowest numbered voters get eliminated. So in position 14 is Yuna. 13 is Chan, 12 is Seoul, and 11 is Ji-won.
Yeah, I mean, I personally liked Chan and Seoul. Mm-hmm. So
and Ji-won.
Yeah, but it just, I mean, you gotta get 6. It's only 6 can go in. So
only 6 can go in.
I had a feeling that they were gonna be.
Yuna had, I want to say this about Yuna before we move on. Yuna had literally no screen time, 0 narrative, like nothing. And I don't know how they decide who's going to be the ones that get a narrative, because I would say
Chan
and Seoul both had like storylines at different points in the show. Ji-won kind of also didn't, but Ji-won had the most interesting thing about she had the same name as someone else who had been on the show. But she was really good.
She was a really great dancer.
Yeah. But Yuna, it's at least like with Iland, this only happens for like a couple people, as opposed to like Boys Planet, where there's like half of the people you just will never know
about,
because they only last like 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah. But on the other hand, then it's like, but I wish I feel like you had enough time for me to know a little bit about those everyone. 2 people. You know what I mean? I want Cheon to have whatever career she wants. If she wants to be an idol, I want her to be an idol. But if she wants to go back and be like, no, I think this wasn't for me, I want to be a ballerina, I will be going to the Nutcracker. I will be going to Giselle. I will be going to Swan Lake. Yeah. That stars Cheon. Okay?
Yeah.
She's so good. And every time they show a clip of her in like ballet class,
it's like night and day. You're like, this woman is so powerful, so graceful, so strong, so confident.
Ugh.
And so we visibly see how hard this was for her.
Yeah.
And I think she can do it if she really wants to.
Yeah.
But I also think that she can forge her own path creatively, where she can feel like she can combine everything about her.
Yeah. And maybe like if she does want to be an idol, like maybe like this isn't the way for her to do it. Like maybe a survival show isn't the way to do it. But like if you get in a training company and then I don't know. She has so much talent.
Yeah,
and like
totally.
You cannot be a ballerina without like putting in effort. So just like that alone, as like if I was like owned a training company, I would be like, oh well, I know she's gonna work hard because she's been doing it all her life.
Yeah. Totally.
Seoul was in my 6 that I wanted to save. I think Seoul is so cute,
so talented.
Yeah.
I mean, like she fit Panorama so well.
I know.
It's still like my favorite performance of hers.
I know.
And I also hope that she gets.
I mean, that's the thing is like
gets
all these
wrapped
girls
up in a
are
group.
in their teens.
I know. There's nowhere to go but like just like get more experience.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
Like they're all getting them now so early.
I know.
And we've talked about it with the boys in Iland. Like years later, someone will debut and they like feel like they are completely different people.
And also like even in
because they've grown so
Highland.
much.
And in Highland,
I mean, even like Gonu and
that's what I was just gonna say. Like Gonu at the time, there was still like he was getting like. Listen, was he getting them from Rain? Of course. And was it annoying? Of course. But like he was getting notes that I think were justified. I don't think Gonu was receiving information that he shouldn't have heard.
Yeah.
And there were things he needed to work on. But like he is a incredibly talented idol. I watched his stupid BL. Like there is so much room for you to like still make a path for yourself, even if it's just not this one opportunity. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Ji-won, I really think she is
she's the fucking Magne. There is nowhere to go but up.
I know. 14,
and they've already
2009.
Kaden. I told you, but there's a Triple S member born 2010.
That's sick.
And that is actually that. I feel sick.
Yeah.
What do you mean I graduated high school and this girl was born?
I'm gonna be sick.
And it's not gonna get any better, Diva.
The fuck was that? Oh. Yeah, Ji-won was great. I still think her best performance was actually where did she wear the Argyle vest? Was that
That's Bad Boy.
Bad Boy, right? She was so good in that.
Yeah.
She was really a standout. And I think someone commented like she apparently during the show had like a jaw issue.
Yeah,
So that's why she couldn't open her mouth. But like I didn't even even notice
that there was any
noticed
handicap.
it in her when she was center.
Yes.
That she like couldn't she was center for the ground group. For
she was like main vocal in there.
Iwali.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I noticed that she like
yeah.
couldn't really open. But I was like, apart from
I didn't even notice that you had any sort of handicap that
right.
You felt like you couldn't
covering
catch up
for. Yeah. I thought she's so good. I don't even know how I'm going to end up picking a final 6 for this show, RJ.
When you literally said Sabi was your PO1, I couldn't even reply because I could make a case for all 12 to make it could be my PO1. It's so bad.
I know.
I can't. I literally was like, just debut the 12.
Just
genuinely.
debut the 12. Just be like, we don't have enough money to finish part 2, so they're all debuting.
We're just debuting. We're shopping here. Great. Done.
Great.
See you at KCON.
Sejong
is so fucking talented and also cool and down to earth. Maybe she's community, I think we're open.
We're open to any
possibilities.
We stand with Sejong.
Yeah. And the thing with her is that Sejong is so...
I also love in her package that she was like, I'm a vocalist.
Yes.
I am a singer.
I sang first. Okay,
before
girls.
I started dancing. And she was like, I liked dancing a little bit more, so that's why I like went with it faster. But she was like, but I do both.
Yeah.
So let's get one thing clear.
Let's get one thing clear, okay, diva girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I could say this about everyone, but she is the one that I need to see on that stage. Okay.
I
need to see her there.
I just want to see her perform.
Five girls that are like twice as tall as her, and then right her in the middle.
Yep. Number 3, Yuju.
I thought that I was not going to get Yuju, and I don't know why. I just felt like I was like, maybe it's not meant to be. And then they showed that this is her third survival show.
Yes.
And there is which is very interesting now, why she picked her as her partner, why she picked her as her one-on-one match here. She knows that she can make a moment, even though she may not be going for like the main role.
I will be on my deathbed, and I will say,
do you remember when Yuju rode the motorcycle? I cannot stop thinking about her hair.
The wind.
Baby. Yeah. I mean, genuinely, even in Whistle, like I think about
everything she's done. Yes, she's like mine. Where I'm like, oh my god,
she's just
so
standing
good.
out. Yeah.
Yes.
And to think when we first saw her, we were like, oh, this diva who like doesn't want to play red light, green light. So she's sitting in there journaling.
She's so above it.
And then she was really more like, actually, no, I just want to make it. I just want to do well in the show.
I'm not here to make friends. So, Jimin and Coco are announced as like the contestants for PO1. Jimin gets 1 and Coco gets 2.
Yeah.
Jimin.
It's interesting. Because we're in a time capsule, and I've been editing previous episodes, like 2-3 episodes behind where we are right now. Yeah. And like Jimin doesn't she gets a lot of good like criticism in the show where it's like, you're breathy, you're not making an impact, you're overthinking things, like, and I'm like, oh, because every time she performs, I always feel like, and she was great, she was stable, but then I look back, I'm like, oh, actually she's like putting effort, she is working hard to like just to make sure that and I wonder if she's ever gotten criticism before of like, you're doing too much, you're doing too little. Do you know what I mean?
This is where I want to critique the show, Iland to Nah.
Right, because they did fast forward, right, for Jimin.
They did fast forward, but that's not even what I'm talking about. The frustrating thing with Jimin's narrative on the show,
it's the same,
is that they are relying on you to have been a person that already watched
Are You Next?
Are You Next?
Or at least just knows that Iland exists or something.
Like you have to have known some of her story already for I think it to really connect. Because like for me, Jimin is not fully connecting.
I know, right?
In a way where I'm like, I obviously see she's very talented, and there's something there, and she's like, her hair is of everyone on the show, she always looks the best. Like I literally
also her little package afterwards, where she's like in this like white dress and the flowing winds, like beautiful.
So
I was like, girl, sell me the skincare.
Sell me the skincare. I will
like you can go
it.
straight to print, girl, holding a little primer or like a little facial, whatever.
I want to see your face all over that Olive Young, Henry.
I want to see your face all over the subway, diva, holding whatever serum you want to sell me. Like literally.
You. Please say this.
But yeah, it's like not connecting because it's relying so much on this one thing.
Yes.
That I'm like, okay,
and I do think it's like
I mean, yeah, she's still traumatized obviously by it. Like she still thinks I'm making connections because of it. But like, I'm not getting...
And it is crazy to like realize, because it took me a minute, but I was like, they basically finished Are You Next? And then she had to go straight into Iland because of the time break.
Mm-hmm. And she said, like, after we filmed part 1, or while I was filming part 1, I was seeing my friends who I lost to win awards and like...
And cause utter chaos in the K-pop community.
Cause literal,
not because of them, but at least be mired in controversy.
Yeah.
I do think she's good. I'm hopeful to now that there's only 12 girls that they need to focus on to get a little.
I need
bit more.
I need them to actually stop doing the Islet and Are You Next comparisons.
I would like to stop seeing her cry at the Are You Next finale,
just because I feel like it's more of a disservice to her now.
Yes.
If I was watching it live, I would be like, okay, but what else?
What else is happening?
What else?
What else is going on?
I need to see something else.
Yeah. Number 2, Coco. How long do we have?
No.
How long do we have?
No.
Coco is.
Coco was and Coco will be.
Coco is 12 and a half feet tall. Mm-hmm. Coco is a pair of legs on a head.
Uh-huh. Been dancing since she was like 4 years old or whatever. 3, 2.
She actually came out and she was
doing
arabesque. Yeah. Hey.
You gotta have a gimmick. But it is like we've said before, her charm is because she's also...
It's 100% Ling Chi.
It's Ling Chi.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It is there is the and it's a very hard. I mean, we have now watched multiple survival shows, and I'm sure there are girlies who are going to be like,
what?
But there are constantly the critiques in survival shows, for the foreign contestants,
to be like, you gotta learn the pronunciation,
blah 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 blah. And there are random, rare exceptions, like a Ling Chi, like a Coco, where part of their charm is that it's just off, but it's adorable. Mm-hmm. And even as a non-native Korean, why was I saying non-native Korean? Non-native Korean, but obviously still fluent, girl. No, as a non-Korean speaker, I can still hear that it's like just off enough, but it's like so cute.
Yeah,
but she has so much fucking talent.
I know.
And she has so much confidence. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything to say, or you don't have any strong feelings about Coco? I feel like I'm a little alone out here.
She ate.
Number 5, we find out is Juwon. Miss Juwon.
Mr. Juwon.
We wondered at this point if she was gonna be.
I was like,
they tease there's one person who like loses their mind crying, and they blur it out.
And I was like, oh my god, is this how we lose Juwon?
Which is I mean, she's so...
It's very interesting. Okay,
she's
so
not... She's not like other girls.
She isn't.
And by that I mean she's so different from all the other girls on the show.
Yes.
She's a fully different
It's
energy.
kind of like Sujung with the personality, but she has like her own rhythm and her own kind of self-confidence. Yes, we've
I
seen
also
her
think
like,
she's like deeply intense.
yeah.
Like the way
The
when she
intensity-
receives critique where she's just like
Yes. I mean, like, her and Ji-yoon should start a little
Resting
like,
bitch face
resting
club.
bitch face club because
know.
I think that's one of their biggest critiques for both of them.
yeah.
But Juwon, I mean, you see her,
Let women have RBF.
girl,
It's 2024.
it's 2024 diva.
Some girls are Sabi, some girls are Jiyoon, and that's just how it is, diva.
Diva. But in her package, she was like, I have learned hip hop. I've learned whacking. Like, she's clearly so confident in her dance ability.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't feel the need to hide in how unconfident she might be.
And yes, like her critique, right, in the unit challenge
We
week
need more
was like we need more
expressions.
face. Do you know how fucking talented as a dancer you have to be that the only
thing you
critique
can say
you're getting critiqued
is, like,
on
your face.
is your face? The rest of you was perfect, but your face?
Yeah.
Bitch, I wish that was my problem.
Your problem is too much face. Yeah,
Okay. Last position.
okay, Adam. Who were we left with? Because
We are left with Yeon, Gyuri, Yui, Lingling, and Minsol.
everyone kept being like, it's Ling Ling because she had one of the highest global votes.
Lingling and Jimin were
think-
the two highest votes.
I think they were showing Jimin was the highest Korean votes and Ling Ling was the highest global votes. Because they were only showing 2. I think that's what it was.
Yes.
So that's why, I mean, Jiyeon was like, oh, Ling Ling. Hands down.
Well, they were like, oh, they're both up for PO1.
Yes.
And then that's when we knew it wasn't going to happen because
Yes.
they kept saying Lingling. We said Lingling had the highest number of international, or she was number 1 in international voting.
Yeah.
But Jimin was number 1 in
Overall.
124 countries. So I wonder.
Maybe we should have watched the end of episode 7 just to see.
Nah.
I really wanted it to be Gyuri, obviously, because we love her.
From episode
day one.
baby.
The first time they showed that little IU face. And then the entire time, because of how emotional Yui was getting, I was like,
Once Coco left.
I was
and
like,
Yui was like alone.
Yui was standing there on her own. I was like, I need Yui here. I need Yui here.
No. I was ready for them to be like, and we actually did open up a 13th spot. Yeah.
It was Gyuri. And I had already resigned myself that I was like, I think Gyuri's going to be eliminated. And when she made it, I got very emotional because I think Gyuri is one of the best. And because she got sick, that's how she got booted to ground.
I know.
And then they never brought her up because she was in the losing team of losing team, even though she was the best in that.
Yep.
And then they lost the choreography challenge.
Yep.
Like, yeah, like I thought, like you could have told me that Gyuri could have been in Iland the entire time, and I would have believed you because she has like crazy work ethic, great vocals.
Such a great mental, she's the one who was like constantly with Jiyoon being like, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You're 15. How are you the one like being
how are
like,
you with
it's
a
gonna be
solid,
okay?
like, yeah. And like she finally cried when she was like, I finally am back
They
in
cut
Iland.
to her like leaving when her and Fuko and Jiyoon got booted the first time, and she says,
was like,
I'll be back. And she says, I'm back. You can't write that. You can't write it.
No. And I loved her little spooky, witchy, like package where she's like,
oh yeah, supernatural.
but it was
supernatural tea.
But her whole thing was like, I've been acting. She was like, I've been acting. I've performed on the stage with all the other child actresses, like singing, and that's when I realized that, I also am good at singing. So I wanted to pursue this. I'm like, girl, you already
know.
You already have
she
a
reminds
page.
you of me.
Oh, she does?
You don't say.
I mean, Diva already has a full page on my drama list. Do you know what I mean?
Could you imagine?
So it's like,
meanwhile, I'm just trying to be the one white guy in a K-drama. That's all I want to do. I want to have 2 lines in one episode, and I want my own page on my drama list. I want to be the guy who owns the company, who comes in for the boss day. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Ugh, this is not about me. This is about Cutie. Cutie's great. I'm very happy she's in. Of course, I'm also devastated we lost Yui, because Yui better each fucking week on the show. Yes,
Yui was like constantly growing.
Yes. Also, like, started out excellent and like felt like, and still I was like, whoa. Like, I was always impressed by like how good she was. Any words for Yeon?
Any words for Yeon?
Yeon was going through it.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's the Idao thing of like, you put someone through something that I don't think they were completely aware of what it actually means.
Right. I don't even know if Idao is really appropriate, because he was still like a trainee, like Bakdoa.
Yes. Doa is probably more appropriate.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, everyone, it was crazy because everyone was like, Fuko was like really rooting for her.
Yeah. There was a part of me that was like, are you just rooting for her because then there's like a guaranteed person you're really only competing against?
Fuko might be the strategist of the show, honey.
I really hope it's Yeon. I think Yeon did well. I think it was very admirable to watch her go through this.
She was on a different path.
She was on a different path,
that like, oh, I can do something. You know, like,
yes,
I'm capable of doing this.
And I think it's good. Listen, I'm going to say something nasty about K-pop fans. I think it's good to see that there are people like being like, oh, I could do like a dance challenge on a video and then go out and be like, these K-pop idols are not giving. They are, and I could, no, you couldn't. And no, you couldn't. And no, you couldn't. Okay? So let's just all bring it in. Let this be a
lesson.
Let this be a lesson. Minsol,
I felt like she may have cracked under the pressure just a little too much, because I felt like she just couldn't really recover.
I know.
From
Whistle.
Yeah. And I'm sure, and I know, like, they've shown it. I know Sabi takes it to heart still. Mm-hmm. Because they're very close, but I think like Ji-won, like, she's so young but has already shown so much talent and potential that like it would be a shame for a company not to like capitalize on that.
Yeah. And also she really held her own with Jiyoon. Like I said in the recap that she felt like she was like kind of a backup vocalist, but that was not like due to her talent. That was like due to the arrangement and how the lines progressed. But like she really held her own up there and like was she sounded great. Yeah. Like she has a wonderful voice.
Yeah.
Ling Ling.
I know that Mnet will do this thing of like, let's show you like who's popular globally to kind of like spook the Korean girls to start voting. And it's annoying.
It's so annoying.
They've done it multiple times.
Every time.
They've done it with shouting. They've done it with Bayi. They've done it literally with Keita. They've done it with Ricky. Ricky, though, you know, the girlies in Korea were like, well, no, hold on. Let's keep that one.
No, wait a minute.
Let's make him come back here. Because it was that moment, remember, when Ricky kicked Gyuvin out in the interim rankings?
Yeah.
And people freaked out.
Do I remember? Yes, I do.
And then people freaked out. But you know what? We got both. So.
And look at that. Look at God.
Look at God. But it was such a shame because I think they knew by having one C girl in there that they could like
get C to watch.
Get like C community to watch and support. I mean, it was like Hanbin all over again.
It was, except this is what I can't decide is better. Hanbin, we had a very frustrating issue with the way he left the show.
Right.
And that episode specifically of all the In Highland episodes is obviously mired in like what's going on here.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is as far as we are willing to keep
question marks. Whereas at least
Ling
I
Ling-
guess this.
Ling Ling, I mean, like, she definitely starts, like, the skills are not there yet completely. They're not fully baked in.
Sure.
You know, she still has room to grow to, like, make an impact.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do think every performance she was getting better and better.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Her as the center in the last
her
one
as the
was,
center was
the best one.
yes, yeah. That
Her
as
the bridge.
yeah,
5.
her against Jung-ah in the last one, obviously I think was her best one. But even before that, like, she was so good in the choreography challenge, like probably the best one, like outside of Mai and Sabi. Like she was probably number 3.
Yeah.
Other people had narratives that were shown that I would have loved to see. Like, why is Ling Ling so fluent in Korean? You know, like
She's so fluent in English. Do they speak English in Malaysia? Oh, okay.
that I would have loved to see. Like, what was her story? When did she come to Korea as a trainee? Like, what was her background? Nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
I really liked the packages from the episode.
Yeah.
I wish we got them. You have it's 24 girls. Just start the show with
Just start the show with that.
Give all of them a little package instead of this, like, here's like
Do a
here's
pre-show.
hashtags that represent them.
Do a pre-show.
100%.
I know they did little videos of like them dancing.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. If you're gonna make us sit for 7 weeks to learn about them and how they got here, and
Why
you
am
really
I
want
just
us to
finding out Jiyun is from the country? How is this just now reaching my ears?
Yeah,
I've been tuned in.
I'm like, no, if you really want us to like be invested,
Put your
do
money,
it.
Put your money where your mouth is. And also, like, you have the benefit of having such a small cast.
Yeah.
More than anything else. Like, that is really what
You have. There's no excuse. You don't have. You have the time.
No. That's why I really don't like when, especially Iland, like, there's like, why do I really have nothing to say about Yuna?
Yeah.
Like, there are 24 girls, and in 6 weeks, over like basically 12 hours of television.
Her exit speech is the most that I got from her.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
I understand
Is An Audition still really our favorite one that we've seen so far? Or like the most effective?
I think it's the best purely in terms of like
creating a group.
Yes, it feels like a team. Yep.
Yeah.
These are a strong group of 12 girls.
I know.
Have literally no idea how I'm going to pick.
I have no idea how to pick. I can't even pick 6 from this. I don't know.
I don't
how
even
would
think I could
one.
pick 8 from this.
I couldn't.
And we don't know what the official number is. I think it's 6 because they tease that they announce what the number is.
And people were
and
like, it's
somebody
too
was like,
small.
It's too small.
So it's not 7.
I think it's less than 7. I don't think it's 5. 5 would be absolutely criminal. If it's 5, I will be absolutely fucking gagged.
But Islet is 5. Well, Islet started at 6.
New Jeans is 5.
I think they're trying to be like 5 is the new
5 is the new normal.
5 for 5 gen 5G. If you had to pick just one.
A PO1? Sabi.
Sabi.
I think it's like Sabi and Coco, and then like depending on the concept, I would have like a different, like I would be like,
Yes.
Sabi is brighter, Coco is more intense. Great. Perfect.
I think I might.
Whoa! Whoa!
I cannot. She is electric on stage. She is electric on screen.
I know. And she's like so mature.
Yeah.
She's got such like a great mindset about this whole thing.
I mean, I think my 1 and 2 right now is Maya and Gyuri, because I just felt like they had the best mindset going in, it lasting through part 1, which is really hard. Part 1 sucks.
Yeah.
Having to go back and forth, having to like fuck you up in that way of like, oh,
and
now
it still
I don't.
wasn't even as bad as in Highland.
No,
where it
I
was
know
like,
exactly.
They really made
made
ground be like, you might as well be dead than be in ground.
You
this
have
was
nothing
not
to
as
live
bad
for.
as that.
No. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to pick, but I think I'm gonna go with Mai for now. Because I think she deserves to be rewarded for how strong she was in part 1.
Doesn't it also kind of feel, I mean, it doesn't make sense really because they'd already filmed this and then they started editing it, but it almost feels like the show was surprised at how good Maya is.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah.
Just in the way like her trajectory like ramped up as the episodes progressed.
Because she had like tough competition because there was like a John and a Coco and a Juwon of like people that felt like more compelling all-rounders on paper, and then she shows up and it's like, oh, but she's like eating up these part 5s and part 6s.
Parts that you would just never remember.
You would think that it's just like throwaway parts, but because she makes such a moment,
no smart parts. They're only small actors.
she makes such a moment out of each of them that I'm like, oh, that's success. Like that's what makes you last.
Totally. Like you can't trust the show is going to give you a narrative. You have to just be really fucking good.
You have to be really good so that they can't help but put you in some sort of narrative.
Yeah. Great.
Right.
I'm excited.
See you at part 2.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.